Well, happy Friday night. Welcome into Harvest, Alabama, North Alabama to be in fact. Landrum Roberts along with A.A. Moore. It's the start of the 2025 high school football season here in the state of Alabama, specifically the Spain Park Jaguars coming off an outstanding 2024 campaign where the Jags went 12-1, falling eventually to Saraland. A.A., first of all, how are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing well. Happy to be back. Another great season, hopefully, in front of us, as we've seen the last couple. This is a program certainly on the rise, and hopefully, as we go into the 2025 campaign, this team will show that it's certainly championship material.
You saw the ascension. You've seen the ascension over 3 seasons with Tim Vakakis at the helm of this Jag program. 3-7 in year 1, year 2, 7-3, and then last year, of course, the 12-1 campaign. But this Jag team will look different. In fact, even with Brock Bradley at quarterback, they're going to look different in many different facets of the game.
Right. It's great to have that quarterback, even if everyone else is gone. But certainly we lost some talent because of graduation, some transfers, which has just become part of the game. But when you've got Bradley at the controls, he has now won 15 consecutive regular season games, that's for sure. And you've still got talent that's here that showed their mettle throughout last season and even in the previous seasons. This team is certainly going to be one to be reckoned with. Number 4 in Class 6A just to start the season, so a lot of attention on this program.
Tonight here on the road, taking on a Sparkman Senators team out of Class 7A, coached by Ronnie Watson in his 3rd season. This is a matchup we saw there at Jaguar Stadium just last year to open up the season. Impressive 38-7 win, 5 touchdown passes, I think, that we saw in that game. But Brock Bradley, let's start there. The senior quarterback, Clemson commit, what he was able to do through the air, and he's continued to build season after season. 2,667 yards, 32 touchdowns through the air, but he's got some different playmates to throw it to this season.
Right. We've seen it happen here now a couple of years where the top pass catcher doesn't return, but when you have somebody coming in with the pedigree of Keno Rigo, who was one of the top receivers in Class 2A and played in the state championship game last year, he is going to be a factor to be reckoned with. A lot of teams aren't going to want to have one-on-one matchups, but it may not matter because he is that good.
Yeah, you mentioned senior wide receiver Keno Rigo. He's going to wear number 0. Mason McClure, who we're familiar with, a junior wide receiver, he gets to start tonight as well.
Right, and we saw him, obviously, when you've got leads that are huge. The guys who were playing 2nd string and 3rd string last year, they got opportunities, and by the end of the year, Mason was kind of a go-to guy a little bit, and he was able to get open and make some big catches, and we're going to look for a whole lot more from him here in 2025.
Barrett Price, the sophomore wide receiver, winding out that group. In the backfield, no exception. You got changes there. C.J. Cowley, he is gone. He transferred in the offseason. J.D. Thompson, Nick McKissick, and also maybe some help from Hudson Hibbard.
Well, that's going to be the interesting part because over the first 3 seasons under Coach Vakakis, running the football has been something that this offense has done very well. And, last year, a very veteran offensive line, and we've still got some good players and we've got some guys who have some experience coming back. But that running game certainly sets up a lot of things, and it makes things a lot easier for Brock Bradley and that passing game. So that offensive line, we're going to see if it's going to be able to click here, and we'll see which one of these new backs steps up and becomes that bell cow running back for this offense.
Yeah, that offensive line you talk about, it's anchored on the left side by Hudson Reed, and then the bookend, Reed Oatridge. You got 6'6", 285 on one side, 6'7", 285 on the other. That'll win in most places.
Well, hopefully with that kind of size on each side of the offensive line, that, when it's time for pregame meals, they don't go 1st and 2nd, because something tells me there's not going to be a lot left for the guys who are coming behind them. But that bodes well, and they've looked good here early on in preseason practice, and hopefully that will continue going into this season.
The Josh Tullis era officially coming to an end last season. Josh graduating and set to kick it off. From our left to our right, Garrett Hoffman, Jr., place kicker. We're underway in 2025 as the cannon sounds inside, taking in the Senators inside the 5 at their 4, and then racing across the 25 up to the 26, and that's where Sparkman will begin 1st and 10.
Sparkman last year 5-5. 5-5 the year before. Head coach Ronnie Watson is 10-10 in 2 seasons. But it kind of speaks to what happens with this Senator program. Since 1970, he is one of only 2 coaches who has a non-losing record. So getting to 500 here has been good. They're hoping for more here this season.
We'll get to the Spain Park starters defensively in a moment. Right up the gut.
Handoff up the middle is number 8, Braylon Lawson.
And Braylon Lawson
Tripped up by number 4.
with 5, maybe 6 yards on that first down carry.
Brings up 2nd and 4 for the Senators.
Defensively up front, Wyatt Beatty, sophomore defensive end there in the middle. Xavier Winston, Kenneth Madden, and Nathan Bird is the other defensive end. J.D. Bonamy, E.J. Curley, K. Slaughter are your linebackers. And once again, plenty of daylight. It's a first down for Sparkman. First 2 plays from scrimmage. Nothing fancy, just getting it done on the ground and up front.
Well, up front is a new slew of starters here for Spain Park, and we even saw it with the veteran group last year. That running up the middle is always something, at least at starts of games and in different points of games, that you've seen teams be able to accomplish against this Spain Park front. But once they kind of get it in gear, then things certainly change for the better for the Jags.
First down, Senators from their 40, missed tackle at the line of scrimmage. And a big pop by Carter Holloway coming up from the secondary. He was able to stagger Lawson. Was dropped at the 43.
And Holloway is a name that you may remember from last year. He played very well. Joe Cross, another guy. He was some of everywhere for this Jags defense. It'll just be interesting to see how this defense comes together. Certainly getting pressure on the quarterback, being able to stop those gaps. That front 4 is going to have to step up and show that they've got the ability to play to the level that we saw this defense do certainly last year.
Braylon Lawson, the running back, 6'1", 185-pound junior. That throw took a little bit, but another missed tackle by the Jags. And the second chance taken advantage of by Bodner, and he's close to another Senator first down.
Well, that ball was in the air and out there for a long time. No one got over to make the defensive stop. Joe Cross was he was the first guy who was in there, and unfortunately was unable to make the tackle. We've seen a couple of missed tackles here on the opening drive for Spain Park.
Third down. And we'll call to this side, and it's J.D. Bonamy. Bringing Lawson down in his tracks, shy of the first down, and we'll see what Ronnie Watson elects to do and tell if this is going to be a substitution heavy package or they're going to go and try to punt it away. Now Spain Park sending man deep. Price. As he stands just outside of the 17-yard line. Interesting looking kick, effective nonetheless. No return, and down at the 24, and that's where the Jags and Brock Bradley will take over their first offensive possession of the 2025 season.
And
Jaguars take over at the
8:43 remaining here in the first quarter. In Harvest, Alabama, Spain Park Jaguar football continues. And the Jags wasting no time, hurrying to the line as Bradley trying to get everybody set. 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field. Ball spotted at the 21 as Bradley surveys the defense. And too tall for Ken Arrigo.
An Atlas Senior Living first down on the first offensive play of the game for Spain Park. And we've seen this team get off fast in multiple games last year, and make no mistake, they're doing it again here.
Bradley faking the handoff. Now he's got to get rid of it. Throws. And the closest guy to it was Barrett Price. The flag is down at the 17. We'll check the call.
I think they had a ineligible man downfield. That'll be the first penalty of the season.
Ineligible receiver downfield, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains second down.
So after a 50-yard burst from scrimmage on the Jags' first offensive play, Spain Park sputtering on the last couple of plays. We'll try to change it here on second down and 15. Wide snap. Bradley finds his man. Here we go. Can we go? Touchdown, Jags.
Doesn't take much time for the new top offensive weapon for the Spain Park Jags to get in business. Tough snap, little play action. Right across the middle, Rigo says we go to the end zone for 6.
32 passing touchdowns a season ago for quarterback Brock Bradley. He's got 1. It came after the first offensive possession. Snap is back by Lutenbacher. Hold is down by Hibbard, and the kick up and good.
For the Senators on that opening drive. Once Spain Park was able to get the Senators behind the sticks, that made things a lot more difficult to move the football, quite obviously. But Spain Park had to, get their feet wet a little bit after giving up a couple of big runs. But we'll see how the second series goes for this defense.
Braylon Lawson was able to have some success on the ground on that first drive. Let's see if they go back to him here. Now we're going to go to the air. Good pressure going up, try to get it, and almost intercepted by a couple of guys. Back deep, great coverage by Jalen Mosley. And he almost tipped it ahead to his teammate, TK Slaughter, I believe.
That's one of those plays you're going to look at it on film. You can just slap yourself upside the head. That should have been an easy pick right there by Mosley. Was unable to bring it in, but good pass defense there for Spain Park.
Second down and 10. Keaton Williams out of the shotgun, the quarterback for Sparkman. Looking at the sideline. Under 8 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Pressure. Williams rolls out, nowhere to go, and he has to throw it away. Closest guy to it. A couple of Spain Park players there on the Jags sideline.
Yeah, this is not looking very good for Sparkman. It's very reminiscent of what happened in the game last year. The quarterback trying to move around and make some things happen, but very disciplined defense there by Spain Park. Guys staying in their lanes, covering the guys they're supposed to cover, and not getting out of the defensive system there, and again making it difficult. Third and long here for the Senators.
Williams. Come back. Not a bad throw, but referee ruling it's incomplete, out of bounds, so it'll be 4th down and long. And once again, Senators forced to punt. Barrett Price heads out. He's back deep for the Jags. No return after the first punt, which never got above 8 feet off the ground.
And that might be being nice. It looked like a rocket ship here close to the Rocket City, but it just never got all the way up.
And a Senator late coming onto the field. get it away. Which different looking punt that time. And Eric Price lets it go. It takes Sparkman bounce inside the 25 and down to at the 21 with 7.5 minutes to play here in the opening quarter.
And our opening quarter this season will be brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling and Electrical provides residential service and repair to the local Birmingham community. Hiller is the homeowner's premier home services provider of choice with their unbeatable Happy You'll Be or the service is free 100% satisfaction guarantee. Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Handoff on first down. Another one of the running backs is going to be featured this year for Tim Vakakis in Spain Park. Nick McKissick, 6 foot, 165-pound sophomore. There's number 22, see him there.
And these guys they've got some big shoes to fill, and you hope that they're not feeling that particular pressure of having to come out and really establish trying to live up to the guys that were here last year. You got to be your own guy. And that time, McKissick shows that he's certainly capable as he catches that out of the backfield.
But he can certainly catch a ball while running. So we'll check that box, which is always important, especially in this Tim Vakakis offense. But showing great concentration there. And you know what, Senator's lucky they had a guy over there because he didn't have any help had he not brought McKissick down after the first down from the 39. They're going to go back to Nick, and Nick leaning ahead. Some of that body lean, able to muster a couple of yards after being wrapped up at the line of scrimmage.
And with the way this passing offense works, you would think there are going to be a lot of lanes, a lot of opportunities for the running game to really establish itself throughout the season. Teams are going to certainly plan for Brock Bradley, so it's going to be up to the running backs to get those yards.
Give it to McKissick, and Nick stays with it. Planted the hand, kept the feet moving. Nothing else touched the ground, and Nick was able to get to the 49. They're going to move the chains. Another Jag first down.
Good second effort there by McKissick. He did get hit, and he was able to keep his feet churning, keep that knee up off the ground, and picks up another Atlas Senior Living first down.
Connor Greb, the tight end, wearing number 3, lining up in the backfield, serving as a blocker. Another running back, so we've seen 3 already. That was J.D. Thompson coming back in. He had the 50-yard burst on Spain Park's opening play. And a heat timeout with 5:52 remaining. Jags driving, trying to add to their 7-0 lead. We made it to the title game and took on a pretty good Parker team, as it turns out.
Came up a little short, but it just kind of shows you that sometimes it's a matchup. Could be where it's happening and things like that puts your season and sends it in one direction or the other. See how it turns out here in 2025 for Spain Park.
J.D. Thompson out of the backfield on 2nd and 8 as Brock Bradley nonchalantly throws it to Thompson, who, because of the departure out of the backfield, whether graduation of Mr. Shanks and others, J.D. Thompson coming in, he's a guy, you can see the speed. You've already seen it, but can certainly catch the ball, could play wide receiver if has to. That's Connor Greb. He's a big tight end, and Connor's got it right up the zipper as he falls into the 15, down at the 14. Jags get another first down, but a flag is down as they're going to bring this one back. Second time Jags have been whistled for an ineligible receiver. So you negate the Greb catch and gain. And instead of a first down and 10 from the 14, they back it up all the way outside the 35.
Whatever the Jags have going on some of these plays, it's certain that someone has not gotten the message to hold on a little bit because they're getting upfield a little too quick.
Bradley looking around, and now Brock shows the wheels. Extending the football, but he stepped out of bounds, shy of the stick. But a nice first down decision by Brock Bradley.
And we started to see a lot more of this last year where Brock was showing his wheels, and of course, and most certainly, you know, his ability to throw the football all over the field is something that we talk about a lot. But he showed the ability to pick up some first downs, make some big plays with his legs, and he certainly conscious of what's going on around him. When the pressure starts getting in, he knows how to step up, or in this case, he knows how to take off, and did a good job there, picked up a big chunk there on first down.
Bradley, that's Mason McClure, and the junior wide receiver, serving in the starter's role this season. His first catch of 2025, and it's good for another Jag first down.
And it's that play, that location of the field. It'll be interesting to see who's going to be the guy who's going to catch that ball in the seam. First one went to Keno Rigo, second one to Mason McClure. Both of them picked up big plays in the Atlas Senior Living first down.
Nick McKissick powers his way inside the 10. Senator defender going to greet him at the 8, and that's where they'll mark it. Second down. Jags can still pick up a first down without scoring. Second down and 5. 4 minutes, 15 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Early movement. Looked like the Sparkman defensive line, but it's really a coin flip. Who knows?
You could call one of them. You probably could call 4 of them.
Defense, 5-yard penalty.
Something else Spain Park did a lot of last year, got that line movement. And when you get up, you can see the aggression from the other side, not being disciplined, not knowing that they're just resetting the formation. And it ends up picking up an Atlas Senior Living first down, first and goal here inside the 5.
Ronnie Watson immediately sending in fresh troops. First and goal, Jags. McKissick bouncing around, stood up, spinning around, fighting towards the goal line, was able to get more than I initially thought he would. Second down as they mark Nick down at the 2-yard line.
You know, this has got to be tough for Sparkman. You know, you open the season, you're a decent program certainly, but when you've got one of the top teams in the state, even in you being a 7A program, and you got one of the top 6A programs, you know, you're going to have your hands full, and right now things are looking really good here for Spain Park.
You saw Tim Vakakis. Looks like it was arm day for Tim. He's bulked up from one season ago. Nick McKissick, he's bulked up as well. From 2 yards out, it's another Jag touchdown. 13-0 here in the early going.
Thus far, not much resistance from the Senators' defense. McKissick got in the hole. He saw the opening to the right, was able to get in virtual ease, and another touchdown for the Jags.
Hibbard to hold it out of a Lutenbacher snap. Jack snap, good. Kick is up and inside the left upright. 3 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. Spain Park 14, Sparkman nothing. Lance Roberts, A.A. Moore, 14-0 good guys here in the opening night of high school football for Spain Park and Sparkman. Senators with a return and hurtling through the air and across the 30 and sailing across the 32 up to the 33 is Davis. And Senators will try to do what they've been unable to do in the first 2 possessions, and that has put points on the board. Right now, Ronnie Watson certainly would love to see that after watching Spain Park give it a go 2 times on offense.
The running game was what was working, and on the last series they decided they wanted to throw the football. Showed that wasn't working. Maybe back to the run here.
Lawson, and no room there. You had J.D. Bottomy.
Handoff to number 8, Braylon Lawson.
As well as Zion McClain,
That carries good for 1 yard.
senior defensive lineman wearing number 9.
The tackling was a little shoddy on the opening series, but since then it's been very good at wrapping up these Senator offensive players.
Christian Carter also in for the Jags on the defensive line. He wears number 97. Reynolds with a catch on this near side. Senators will still need 5 yards on third down.
That defensive front still looks fast, as it has in years past. So getting rid of the football quickly is paramount here for the Senators. You hold on to that football too long, that pressure is going to be in the backfield, and it's not going to look very good for Sparkman.
Williams faking the handoff, drops back. He's going to throw. He had a man, but he threw it about 10 yards too long, as Reynolds had broken free from his man. Williams unable to connect or put a little more air under it. And I'm sure that's what his coaching staff is telling him as the Senator quarterback comes to the sideline.
Everything worked on all sides for both teams. The pressure got into the backfield. Quarterback got rid of it quickly. Had a receiver open, just was a little too long with it.
Barrett Price, that's a good-looking punt, and Barrett is back. And luckily for Barrett, after it might have, it may not have, graze his fingertips, the ball does fall out of bounds.
It is a little breezy out here, which I'm not going to complain about. We've had some season openers where
it's not 104 in Calero.
Right, like the wind was just a figment of our imagination because it wasn't blowing outside at all. But that may be kind of lending to some of the issues, at least tracking the football here on special teams in the first quarter.
That was, 3 seasons ago? We had teams canceling, moving games, trying to play games in the morning. We kicked at 7, and it was scorching hot. Brock Bradley, first down, underthrowing his wide receiver. That is Connor Greb. Went out wide.
Brings up second down.
You know, we've seen sometimes with Brock Bradley that he throws the fastball when he needs the changeup, and there's been times where he throws the changeup where he needs the fastball, and that time, you know, he was a little off speed with that toss.
Now Brock on second down. And coming up to make the stick, J.D. Thompson dropped in his tracks. And a nice play by the Sparkman defender.
Tried to go with the sweep, pulled the guards. I think that was Isaac Harris out front along with Sammy Camargo. And good job there by the Senators defense, able to get in there and make the stop.
Third down and 10. Bradley sets up the screen. Thompson. And diagnosed perfectly by the Senators on defense. So that's a win for the home crowd, letting their Sparkman team know it. And Spain Park forced to punt for the first time tonight with 1:30 and counting here in this first quarter.
Good job there by Blake Battle as he stayed in his lane. He read, like you said, that screen perfectly and was able to get the stick. First time the offense didn't look as crisp with the football, and is going to bring up a punting situation.
Zach Van Pelt handling the punting duties here in the opener. Good kick, fielded, bobbled, but secured at the 39, and that's where Sparkman will take over. Just over a minute remaining here in the opening stanza. Landrum Roberts along with A.A. Moore. Glad you're with us for another season of Spain Park Jaguar football.
And it's just, you know, if you're Sparkman, you've had 3 drives now, and outside of the first 2 or 3 plays, they've done nothing positive. And so what else is in Ronnie Watson's bag of plays here to get this offense on the move?
Peyton Wood is checked in, and Lawson is finding the going much tougher after having some more than moderate gains on the opening drive. Looks like Spain Park's defense settling in.
sometimes you got to get hit by somebody else to kind of say, hey, look, we're in a football game now. This is no longer practice. And after those first couple of hits, Spain Park has seemingly gotten it together.
Peyton Woods staying in there, slant and underthrown. Well, Williams would like to have that one back as well. So he had Bodner
Brings up third down.
coming across on the slant.
And you just, when you got those kind of plays, set up as Sparkman has, they've had now 2 or 3 plays, passing plays, where that play action, getting rid of the ball quickly, to just not completing the catch.
Williams winds up, and his wide receiver once again, Bodner, got to be
Just over outstretched arms. Stretched arms is number 11, Zayden Bodner.
asking his quarterback, Keaton Williams, did I do something to upset you? Twice he's been able to run a good route, find himself open, and twice Williams has missed the mark.
Sometimes you have quarterbacks who are athletes, and then other times you have athletes playing quarterback. And on some of those throws, you can kind of tell that that's an athlete playing quarterback.
High snap. The punt is away. Barrett in traffic, and Price able to hang with it. And it'll be great field position for Spain Park. 15 and 2/10 seconds left here in the first.
Spain Park on that last series just did not kind of get the engines going, and it left them playing behind the sticks. Like to see a nice start here on first down, pick up at least 4 or 5 yards.
McKissick gets the toss from Brock, and McKissick turning it back.
Toss number 22. Stop
Manages maybe 3 yards. That'll be the final play of the first quarter. Productive first quarter for Spain Park and Tim Vakakis. A couple of touchdown drives, and the defense pitching the shutout. Second quarter comes your way next as we continue watching Spain Park Jaguar football here on the Jag Network. Welcome back to Sparkman High School. Landry Roberts, A.A. Moore, 12 minutes in the book. We start the second quarter. Jags working from our right to our left on 2nd and 6. Nick McKissick. Nice run from number 22, Nick McKissick, running back by committee here in this first half. And number 22 making it count when he gets the touches.
Watch McKissick twisting his body as he ran inside and found the room outside, picks up another Atlas Senior Living first down, and McKissick really starting to assert himself after that opening drive, starting to pick up those big yards for Spain Park.
Rigo and McClure, the wide receivers, to the far side as Barrett Price lines up this way, now goes in motion. We're going to hand it off to Nick again, and McKissick carving his way through the Senator defense. Almost 9 yards on that carry.
And it's good vision, even though it doesn't take great vision with the kind of hole he had to run through. But that play was designed for McKissick to run right, and he saw the opening back through the middle, so he cuts left and picks up 9 on that first down run.
Nothing too fancy there, but good footwork. Changing direction momentarily. That's Kenarigo.
Yeah, the teams are going to find out that trying to defend him one-on-one is going to be a problem. And if you get time for Brock Bradley, Kenarigo is going to be able to find openings for Bradley to deliver that football and then pick up another Atlas Senior Living first down.
Kenarigo stays in on first down. McKissick inside the 10, fighting his way to, they'll mark him just shy of the 5-yard line at the 6. As Isaac Jeffries with another tackle. One of the Senator captains recognized tonight. Sun has set. Stadium lights are on. And Spain Park trying to add, and they do. Not. Spoke too soon. Connor Grebb. Just glad Connor's okay. As he got almost cut in half by the Sparkman defender. Looked wide open, slow developing play. Brock would admittedly say that he could have run it in, but he chose to throw it and be a sharer, be selfless.
Yeah, you take care of your guys, and they'll take care of you. It picks up another Atlas Senior Living first down, and now we're looking at 1st and goal inside the 2.
Fullback checking in for the Jags on offense. Leading the way, Nick McKissick across the goal line for the touchdown. McKissick's in, 20-0 Jags. Just 2 minutes, 20 seconds gone by here in the second quarter.
Second rushing touchdown for McKissick. Easy peasy as he was able to burst through for another touchdown. And Andrews Sports Medicine touchdown for the Jags.
John Malouf, who had checked in at fullback, providing some blocking along with the offensive line. And wow, that one's good. Kick is up and good by Jones. 21-0 Jags lead. We're back to Harvest, Alabama in a moment. 1-0 Spain Park leading Sparkman. 9 minutes, 40 seconds here in this second quarter. And a kick. A short kick. Not allowing a big return. The coverage is there. Executed perfectly. As you saw Garrett Hoffman direct it to the far side hash, or just inside of it. And Jags trying to prevent a big return, and they do so.
And so when you're up 21-0, you can kind of start working on some things. You've got a rather big game next week. You don't want to get too far ahead here. We're still in the first half, but you can start seeing how things look. I remember last year we did the same thing and needed all the things that we looked at in that second game. So
hand off the left side. That's Lawson, and that's what we saw on the first drive from Braylon Lawson, another captain for the Senators. He's able to reel off 8 as he went to the short side of the field and tackled just as he got to the Jag sideline.
That's a rather big kid, strong kid. Obviously, they're trying to get the ball in his hand as much as possible. Where's the second playmaker? That's what Sparkman is looking for.
And right up the gut. It's going to be good for Senator first down. It's play good for 5. And Marbury spelling Lawson. So Sparkman able to convert, keep the drive alive as they operate from their own 44.
First down for Sparkman since that opening series. I'm sure the defense is happy for that. Get a little extra rest.
Another handoff. Nothing that time.
Handoff to number 24, Waylon Marbury.
TK Slaughter, I believe, from his linebacker spot. Couldn't tell if that was a 5 or a 9. Might have been Zion McClain. Yeah, I think it was McClain.
Marbury is more of a bowling ball type running back, so he's coming in there trying to lay the wood, going right up the middle this time. Spain Park's defense able to get the big stop. Second down.
Williams dropping back. He's got pressure and got rid of it. And he finds Bodner and a late hit on the quarterback. They're going to tack on 15 to the end of the catch. Zayden Bodner finally got a ball within his area code. And unfortunately for the Jags, a late hit on the quarterback, Keaton Williams, as Nathan Bird being aggressive. What a good call by the official.
When you see it's close, and again, this first game of the season and opportunity to hit somebody else other than your own teammates, But you got to know, you got to have that internal clock saying, hey, look, I only have half a step, not a full step. Maybe I need to pull up. It cost Spain Park 15 yards.
So the Jags defense being tested on this drive. And not a whole lot there. Marbury dropped right at the line, maybe a frog hair behind it. Good play, J.D. Bonamy.
Kenneth Madden was in there too. I think Madden grabbed him by the legs and slowed it up. Bonamy put the finish on it. But again, Marbury is going to, you're not going to see him trying to bounce to the outside too much. So those tackles, middle linebackers have to be aware of him.
Williams faking the handoff. Now he's going to look for Lawson. Dumps it underneath to his running back, and Lawson does the rest with his athleticism. A couple of missed tackles. And instead of a third down, it's another first down for Sparkman.
When you get that kind of situation and you are a linebacker, you've got to stay with your guy. You do better, letting the quarterback take off and then let him go over the line of scrimmage. That time, the defender left, quarterback makes the throw. Big pickup for Sparkman, another first down.
Senators got the momentum with them on this drive as Lawson to the far side of the field upended, and a good tackle as Carter Holloway comes up from his defensive back position. There is a Jag down.
Got by number 4, Carter Holloway.
Look like their number 13, Peyton Wood, is the...
Peyton Wood, one of the Jag defensive linemen, substituted in. And they're checking on Peyton. While they do so, we'll take timeout. 6 minutes, 57 seconds left here in the opening half. As the Jags leading 21-0. That sounds like all really positive things, AA.
Indeed, and then something bigger before the Hoover game. The pick before the kick challenge, the PTSO with the most members before the football game will win the challenge, and Dr. Maddox will wear that team shirt to the game. So make sure you join the Spain Park PTSO, $25 per family, $10 per teacher, and let's make sure Dr. Maddox is wearing that Spain Park t-shirt.
QR code conveniently there on your screen. Across the middle, Bodner, Zayden Bodner, touchdown. Williams with a nice pass. He zipped it across the middle, and Bodner found himself with just enough separation. Sparkman's on the board, and they cut in to that 21-point Spain Park lead.
You can see the funding for the football program going right to work. As soon as Bodner got in the end zone, lights start dancing, fireworks go off. First touchdown of the season for the Sparkman Senators, and good job there. Offensive line did a good job of protection. Bodner has been open a couple of different times across the middle, and that time Spain Park unable to corral him before he crossed the end zone line.
When you invest in the bells and whistles, you like to see them used. I'm sure Ronnie Watson would have loved to have seen them used in maybe the first 12 minutes of the game, but never too late. 6 minutes, 44 seconds left to end this second quarter. And Bodner staying in. Snap, the hold is down, the kick is up, and it is good. 21-7. Jags lead. 6 minutes, 44 seconds left here in Harvest.
What makes a Thunderbolt? They pitch faster, hit farther, run quicker, go harder. They bring home championships and build relationships. They never quit and strive to push through any obstacle that may come their way. For themselves, for each other, for their future. Because it's not about the game, it's about the girls. Visit us online and learn how to become a Thunderbolt or apply for a franchise team membership.
Baptist Health is on your team. From everyday care to life's emergencies, we've got you covered. Baptist Health, on your team, on and off the field.
Sparkman set to kick off after a Zayden Bodner touchdown reception from his quarterback, Keaton Williams. Jags to receive. That's J.D. Thompson. Straddles the 8. J.D. showing the wheels. Thompson across the 45, up across the 46, and spilled at the 47. A great return. Jags slow in getting up. And there is a flag at the 27.
Normally when that happens, that means it's coming back.
During their turn, holding on the returning team. 10-yard penalty from the spot foul, first down.
No explanation needed. One of the Jags called for holding.
Jersey, yeah.
The Jag who was slow to get up was Keno Rigo, but assistant coach coming to him as he came off
1st and 10 for the
the
Jaguars.
field and saying he was good to go. He will not start this drive as McClure is in, Barrett Price is in.
Now it's time to see if Spain Park has an answer. You don't want to let this team start to feel a little confidence, this Sparkman team. So you want to try to get in there and answer that score with your own score.
Sparkman wants a timeout. We'll take one with them. 6:34 left. Jags leading 21-7.
Mike Jr. from Rock City Church. I performed on stages all over the world, but nothing compares to rocking with my family on Friday nights. On behalf of Rock City Church and the McClures, go Jags.
Back here, it's the second quarter, and Spain Park on top of Sparkman, 21-7. Your second quarter is brought to you by United Community. United Community Bank is a proud sponsor of Spain Park football. Please visit our new Meadowbrook location on Highway 280. United Community Bank.
And after the Sparkman timeout, Jags come out.
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And encroachment signaled against Sparkman. That'll frustrate you all day, all night, next week if you're Ronnie Watson.
Especially coming right out of the timeout. That's not where you want to get a penalty.
1st and 5 after the step off. And Brock hands it to J.D. Thompson, and J.D. ahead for 6 yards.
Hand off to Thompson. Stop made by number 9, Anthony C.
And that's good to move the chains.
Spain Park first down.
Atlas Senior Living first down, and Thompson does a good job, man. He gets low. He's getting behind those big offensive linemen. It's probably hard to pick up, and, man, he scoots right through there and finds those yards and picks up the first down.
Ken Arrigo looks to be good to go. He lines up on this side. And J.D. Thompson almost able to break away and break a tackle of one of the Senator defenders, but Thompson still with all of that momentum and ahead of steam across the 30 and up to the 31.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
2nd down and 7 coming up, but a timeout called here in the early part of the season. Much more manageable night, but it's a heat timeout, so both teams head to their respective sidelines to hydrate. As AA alluded to, the non-region continues, schedule continues anyways, next week as Jags will take on Hoover.
Obviously a big game in the city. It had a little more pizzazz when these two teams were in the same region, but nonetheless, it's a big game for the community, big game for Spain Park. That was really, it was so exciting last year, too.
One of the best high school games, not only as a fan, but calling a game I can remember. Just a great game.
Game went back and forth. The players were all into it. You didn't see a lot of messy penalties, just big plays on top of big plays. And when the dust settled, obviously, Spain Park came out on top, but that only lasts for so long. And so now come next week, you got to do it again. So, and I'm sure this senior class is not want to go out with that sour taste in its mouth and losing their final opportunity against Hoover.
Going back to that game last year, there were so many dig deep moments. Just the back and forth nature of it, as you mentioned. But I mean, Brock Bradley, you think about some of the plays that we saw in that particular game, not just from the quarterback, but all 3 phases. And maybe Hoover fans would disagree that was one of the best games, but I think anybody who's there in attendance would have to tip the cap. Handoff on second down. It's going to be good for a Jag first down. We'll see who got the carry. And coming in, Hudson Hibbert.
Again, doing a good job getting low, following your blocks, and picking up that Atlas Senior Living first down. Good job running the football thus far in the first half by Spain Park.
Hudson, usually listed as a quarterback, but helping out with the depth in that Jag backfield. And Hudson gets it again. Hudson Hibbert.
Stop made on number 10, leg down.
Across midfield inside the 45. Down at the 43.
Takes the pitch, finds the hole. Good blocking there on the outside, and Hibbert runs right through another Atlas Senior Living first down. And these running backs, a little slow at the beginning, but now really starting to impress. Not counting that first run, of course, but and now we're already 3 deep, and guys are all doing well. And it happened again. The shift there by Spain Park, and Sparkman still has not figured it out.
That was such an effective thing last year. I don't call it a play because it's not exactly a play. It's something that they do on a regular basis. But whether it was a key third down, whether it was fourth down and short, how many times do we see the Jags get bailed out by a defender coming across the line on that hard counter, that shift?
And it was on film all season long, and yet week after week somebody fell for it.
Bradley going up top. And almost coming down with it was Kenarigo. Hey, Dixon, pretty good coverage.
At first I thought Rigo was going to have that because Dixon did not get his head turned around, but he turned it around late and was able to kind of stay in position. A lot of times when you are kind of spinning and not seeing what's going on, there's a pass interference, or sometimes you just get beat. But good job there by Dixon and being able to get the pass breakup.
Not a bad idea to take a shot there. And the first and short. Now that negated as Brock Bradley saw the pocket collapse and found a very large number 74 on top of him.
Normally Bradley is pretty good at getting rid of the football, but that time the pressure was right in his face. There was really nowhere that he could step up and either be able to deliver the ball to a receiver or just otherwise throw it away.
Senator Faithful on their feet. 3rd down and 9. Graham Blair is checked in at tight end. He wears number 18. T.D. Thompson in the backfield. Now Brock going to check with his line, and Tim Vakakis almost out to the numbers, whistling and asking for the timeout. He gets it with 3:49 left. Big 3rd down coming up for the Jags to keep this drive alive. Welcome back after the timeout. Jags facing a 3rd down and 9. Nick McKissick back in at tailback. 3 wide receivers to the top of the screen. Rigo was the decoy. Touchdown, Mason McClure. There's Brock Bradley showing off the arm, looking off a defender, and a 43-yard touchdown strike to his junior wide receiver.
Man, look at the time Bradley had, and he goes up top. Easy catch there for Mason McClure with the Andrews Sports Medicine touchdown.
Jones in to attempt the extra point. Hibbard to hold. Lutenbacher a good snap back and saw that potentially coming. No good on the point after touchdown. 27-7, 3 minutes 42 seconds until halftime.
There's been some tough snaps, some kicks getting in just inside the upright, and that time that was had one of the Charlie Brown and Lucy type situations right there. Tough snap, tough kick. At least he did get to kick the ball. No one pulled it from him. A little short though.
Couldn't tell if the tee got caught. Maybe he kicked the tee. Somebody check on the tee. the Jags able to respond after the Sparkman touchdown. And Garrett Hoffman ready to tee it up and kick it away.
Number 13, Nate Davis.
Davis and Reynolds are back deep for Sparkman. And the ball falling off the tee. Can't blame it on the wind.
Yeah, the wind has gone into the locker room early here in the first half. That breeze that made it feel very glorious at kickoff has taken a bit of a respite at this point. Hopefully he'll come back and see us a little later.
And a flag coming out as whistles stop play.
I think the team got over the line a little bit prior to that kickoff, and they're going to call offsides.
Encroachment, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
So Hoffman will back it up. Instead of kicking from the 40, he'll kick this one from the 35. See if the Jags elect to angle this kick, sky this kick. Or they try to boot it deep. And they'll boot it deep. And Hoffman had the football hit at the 13, and it took an immediate left out of bounds. So that will be relatively good field position for Sparkman after the step off.
For this team, there's not, there's not much penalty in that. Coach Vakakis likes the kind of the guarantee of the field position anyway. We don't see the kickers here at Spain Park kicking it deep very often. So getting the ball placed at the 40, not the worst thing in the world against this Spain Park defense.
James Jones wears number 85. He checks in. And lining up at linebackers, they'll go with a three-man front. With McLean, Carter, and one other defender, being Nathan Bird. 4-yard towed on first down. Second down and 6. Clock continues to move, approaching the 3-minute mark. Williams faking the handoff, going across the middle. He had a man, but underthrew it. It was a bang-bang play. Receiver tried to go down, grab it before it hit the turf. He was defended by Jalen Mosley.
Just got to make some better throws if you're Sparkman, and you probably got at least another touchdown on the board. The receivers are getting open, and I'm sure as Spain Park looks at this at halftime, it's not necessarily the pressure because they're making quick throws, but the coverage not exactly where you want it to be.
Third down and 6, and now Spain Park returning the favor. Uncharacteristic of E.J. Curley as he stepped up. Ready to fire through the line.
5-yard penalty, range third down.
After the step off, it'll be third down and short. And this changes things considerably from a play calling standpoint, one would guess.
And I think Curley was a little excited. His first time that they really had lined him up there in that slot, giving him a chance to kind of put pressure on the quarterback. And now you're probably going to see a little Waylon Mayfield, the bowling ball right there. He's actually in as one of the blockers.
Kind of burst up the middle on third and short. And Lawson carrying it to the Jag 45. Jags continuing to substitute along the defensive line. Ethan Boykin, there's number 2. checks in. Braylon Lawson. Another good gain on first down.
That carry is good for 6 yards.
Second down and 4. Coming up, 2.5 minutes left here in the second quarter.
We've seen spurts here in this first half where that offensive line has really been firing off, and it's been 5, 6, 7 yards a run for Sparkman.
Lawson, 4.5, and that's just enough as they move the chains and stop the clock. So Senators threatening again. Spain Park enjoying a 21-0 lead, and then a drive that had a 15-yard late hit tacked on. A Zayden Bodner touchdown reception. Now the Senators trying to add to it and falling over his own feet. That wasn't even the turf monster. And Marbury, the bowling ball, slipping on the lane.
Not quite what Marbury's forte is. Normally you just let them run straight ahead. This time they tried to do a little toss sweep to the outside, and probably not where he likes to run the football a lot.
That would be the equivalent of the old gutter ball.
Up easy, guys. Up easy, up easy, up easy, up easy, up easy.
That one loses half a yard.
Don't talk.
The official apparently wanted to get on the air with me and you and forgot to turn his microphone off. Trying to keep things a little easy there.
More the merrier. Bird heads off after making the tackle. Third down. And Sparkman facing a 3rd and 13. They need the 24 with 55 seconds and counting. Remaining here in the opening half of this 2025 opener for both teams. And Ronnie Watson calls a timeout. 51 6/10 of a second remaining here in the second quarter. Jags trying to preserve a 20-point lead.
Conditioning is everything. John Parker Wilson here for Hoover Toyota. When it comes to providing exceptional service, repairs, and parts, Hoover Toyota is your winning team. We service and repair Toyotas. Our state-of-the-art high-tech service center can tackle any job, and we'll make sure the job is done right the first time. You can even order genuine Toyota parts from our website. Don't drive your MVP into the ground. Maintain and repair at Hoover Toyota. Tell them John Parker sent you.
The Google reviews about on-time service are real comments from real Alabama homeowners like you. Some companies purchase fake reviews. We have never done that, and we absolutely never will. We are on-time service.
Welcome back, Sparkman High School. 3rd down and 12. Senators working from our left to our right. Jags trying to come up with a big defensive play right before halftime. As Williams got pressure, dumps it off. That's Bodner and Zayden Bodner. Joe Cross coming up before Bodner could really get going. And he's dropped around the original line of scrimmage. And Senators will face a 4th and 9. One of the officials
Timeout, Spain Park.
going over to indicate that Spain Park called a timeout. 43 seconds remaining. So Tim Vakakis and the defensive staff want to get together, make sure everybody's on the same page.
I felt like they were going to have this was going to be a two-play situation, that they weren't going to try to necessarily get all of it on 3rd down, because this late in the game and the position on the field, punting's not going to do you any good, and chances are your kicker's not going to make it from 48 to 50 yards out. So good job there by the Spain Park defense to certainly keep this a 4th and long. But now you got to step up, because they're going for the sticks. Question is, can you get into the backfield? And I said they were going for the sticks, and yet here they come out. Looks like the punt team is coming out. Looks a bit interesting here. I guess Sparkman has decided to take its chances with making Spain Park go the length of the field here with about 40 seconds left once they get the football.
Well, Barrett Price stands at his 10. And they indeed are going to punt. And that one takes a high bounce over the waiting Sparkman Senator, who's doing his job right there at the goal line. But the field turf with a little bit extra spring. Brock Bradley, unfortunately for the Senators, 38.6 seconds to operate. That's plenty of time for number 5.
Right, you figure you get timeouts, clock stops with first downs, and certainly going out of bounds gets it done too. We've seen them get it done here in a short amount of time and going the length of the field. And so I don't know if that was, in fact, the best strategy for Sparkman. But also, you just put it into number 5's hands and see what he can make happen. But the worst thing that could happen for Sparkman is that Spain Park gets into the end zone and then they get the ball back right after the half.
Spain Park not going conservative here. As J.D. Thompson's got it. He's got plenty of room, and J.D. says, I'm going to make the most of it. Why not? Inside Senator territory and down to the 38. And they'll stop the clock. Didn't take much time, all of about 8 seconds as you look at J.D. Thompson out of the backfield.
Little quick pitch and catch, and forget the sidelines. I'm going upfield. Shakes one, gets 2, 3 guys before he's brought down for an Atlas Senior Living first down.
The start and stop by J.D. Thompson, and then goes up. Barrett Price, far sideline, acrobatic catch, but they rule that he stepped out of bounds. Nevertheless, heck of a snag by number 7.
Still 18 seconds left. A big first down opportunity. As you look at it there, looks like that foot was out. You only need one to be in, but he was not able to get the one down.
Jags with 2 timeouts remaining, and offside could have been called. Don't see a flag yet. They're going to go deep. Why not? Barrett Price, and Brock led him too much. Brock upset with himself.
Boy, they had that play. Price had gotten free. It wasn't anybody within 4 or 5 yards of him, and Bradley just a little too much air underneath.
That would have made it 3 Spain Park wide receivers with touchdown receptions here in this first half, but just out of the outstretched arms of sophomore wide receiver Barrett Price. Now 3rd down and 10 is Brock Bradley. Looks to his left. He's got Rigo. He's got Greb, but he's going to Mason McClure. And McClure getting all the real estate he can, and a timeout finally called to stop the clock with 1.5 seconds remaining.
Timeout, Spain Park. That's your 3rd and final timeout of the half.
There was a deep safety, so bringing McClure in motion showed that safety was, that he wasn't coming to do anything but stand back there and make sure there wasn't a deep pass into the end zone. A lot of room for Mason McClure to roam, and he looks like he gets there inside the 30 to the 25. It's an Atlas Senior Living first down, but the question will be, do they try to kick a field goal, which probably be about 45 yards from here, or do you take the shot at the end zone?
Don't want to jump to conclusions. Don't know if they have a guy who handles the longer range field goals or the extra points. But it does look like the offense heading back out. So we'll see. Hopefully one heave towards the end zone, and hopefully a guy wearing a Columbia blue helmet on the receiving end.
On the last play, there was one deep safety. On this play, there are 2. Well, one real deep, and then a couple that are a little closer, but they're at least 15 yards off the line of scrimmage.
4 wide receivers. Do they go 4 verts? One would think so, and they do. Brock trying to buy some time. Bradley has to dump it short to J.D. Thompson, and Thompson forced out of bounds. That'll be the final play of the first half. All in all, a good first half of the 2025 season for Tim Vakakis and the Spain Park Jaguars. They lead 27-7 here over Sparkman on the road. Halftime comes your way next. You're watching Spain Park Jaguar football right here on the Jag Phases, none would you expect it to be here in the opening game. Special teams, we saw maybe some work, whether it was the snap to the hold or the extra point. You can certainly get some work done there. On the offense, we saw just a couple of lapses, but some of that was induced by penalties. And then the defensive side, kind of the same thing, not taking anything away from Sparkman, but extending that drive, the extra 15 yards that the Senators were able to get led to that only touchdown that they had there in the first half. But all in all, I think you go B+ probably for that first half?
I think that's fair, although I would imagine that the people over there on the far sideline would probably be a little more critical because they expect a lot more, even it being the first game of the season.
Here we go. Couple of Jags back deep to receive the kickoff, and it's J.D. Thompson. He showed his wheels in the first half and going to try to show them again. Gets to the wide side. J.D. with a nice return out to the 37. That's where Brock Bradley and the Jaguars set up. And their first possession of this second half. Bradley almost added to his touchdown collection there in the first half. He found Rigo, found McClure. He almost found his sophomore wide receiver, Barrett Price, but just overthrew it a bit. Would expect that Tim Vakakis probably dials something similar up here in the second half.
Well, if you can get a couple of touchdowns here early, we'll see who the new backup is, because I would imagine Brock Bradley won't be in towards the end of this ballgame.
J.D. Thompson, Nick McKissick splitting carries, and that's why Nick McKissick. Well, the first play from scrimmage in this second half, beginning the way that it did here in the first quarter, with J.D. Thompson breaking off a 50-yard run, and Nick McKissick says, you know what, I'm pretty good too.
All right, and just again, good vision there by the running back McKissick. The offensive line obviously doing its job, and McKissick got to the outside. He's shown some good vision here in this ball game and being able to change directions.
Seems very precise on his cuts so far, and that one not precise. Bradley throws it to the wrong guy, and it's a pick six.
Oh, man.
Brock never saw him or just stared a hole through him, but it won't get any easier for any defensive back anywhere. That was close range, and then it was off to the races.
I've got to believe he did not see him, because there was no juice on that pass, but certainly give credit there. Sparkman jumped that route, and Bradley it was almost as if he was throwing it to Sparkman, as if Sparkman was the intended receiver. That just, you have rarely, and what I'm talking about in 2+ now in a third, 3+ seasons, because he did play as a freshman, you rarely see Bradley make throws like that, and that one turned into 6 point for the Senators.
And nobody tougher on themselves than Brock Bradley, the quarterback. As we look across the way, number 5, time to reset and give it a go. The extra point is up and good, and it looked like Spain Park was going to get it back to a 4-touchdown lead. All of a sudden, the lead is just 13.
Yeah, here early in the third quarter, I'd like to introduce you to our third quarter sponsor here in 2025. That's Signature Homes. Third quarter is proudly sponsored by the premium local new home builder, Signature Homes. Build your life with us. And as always, go Jags.
And Nick McKissick busting off a long run. Unfortunately, Brock throwing it into the waiting hand. Back for the Sparkman Senators.
And Brock hardly throws interceptions at all, and so it's certainly, a little in like that. That's pretty tough right there. Spain Park had the answer when Sparkman hit the Jags in the third quarter.
Well, a rejuvenated Senator team and a rejuvenated Sparkman Senator crowd. Everybody packing it in here on this side, and a good contingency of Spain Park coming up. North 65 made the trip along with the Spain Park Marching Band. Saw part of the impressive as always. Now Brock Bradley in the offense. Hudson, Harris, Jackson Bryant, and Reed Oatridge.
Hand off to Thompson.
That's J.D. Thompson once again.
And, you know, plays like they can shift momentum, but, you know, it's really just one play, even though it turned into 7 points. And Spain Park has been in control of this ball game for its entirety. So you just go back to doing what you were doing. You just kind of have to flush that play and say, hey, let's get back to going with what works.
Certainly not what you dialed up there. One of the Jags jumping early, so they'll back them up 5. And after the step off, 2nd down and 10. Spain Park operating from its own 35. Bradley, 3 wide receivers. His disposal off to the right, but he's going to hand it off. That's Hibbert. J.D. Thompson again.
Stop by number 9, Anthony Seaton.
3 different running backs we saw in the first half, but J.D. Thompson can't get there. Gets 5 yards back and makes it a manageable 3rd down and 5. Mason McClure comes to this side. Connor Grebb lining up at tight end. Thompson stays in at tailback. Jags shifting around. Sparkman responds on the defensive line. Now they shift back. Plenty of time on the play clock. They won't need it. Hand it off to Thompson. Got the edge. J.D. couldn't quite turn the corner. Number 17 coming up to make the hit to bring Thompson down shy of the first down. Sparkman.
Orlando Ayers was one of the defenders who got in there for Sparkman, and it looked like Thompson tried to turn the corner. And as he turned up, he was met right there in the hole, and it's going to bring up another punting situation here for Spain Park.
Not a bad punt at all. Nice kick off the turf and rolls off to the right. 20-yard line is where they'll spot it, maybe the 20 and a half. See Sparkman for the first time offensively here in this second half. 1 touchdown to their credit. That was the Williams to Bodner pass and catch in the second quarter.
Now you've got this Sparkman team starting to feel it a little bit. We saw there in the second quarter they were starting to be able to move the football a little bit, got into the end zone, get the big defensive play, and again, that's that momentum, that confidence you have to watch out. They're at home, season opener, looking for the big upset.
They're going to heave it up. They're going to throw it. And a lot of contact, and should have been a flag, and there is a couple of flags. You had the one-on-one on this near side, and deep into coverage and running step for step, but unfortunately, with his hands grabbing the jersey, Xander McClure. Whistle for the penalty.
And McClure did a good job. He stayed with his man, but I think he did not otherwise recognize where the ball was located, so he never got his head turned up. And at that point, you can't really do that. You know, you got to play the ball and not necessarily your guy, and he never saw the ball, so that was an easy 15-yard mark off for an automatic first down.
McClure stays in the game. Now Bodner lines up in the slot. First down, Williams. And going down to his backside to make the catch, number 6 for the Senators. 5-yard pickup, 2nd down and 5. They spot it at the 41. Cross and Holloway are the safeties. Swing it out this way. And room to run. And speaking of, Joe Cross coming over from his safety spot to make the tackle. And luckily for the Jags, he did. His 13 had a head of steam and plenty of real estate.
We talked about looking for another playmaker here for Sparkman beyond Braylon Lawson, and right there Nathaniel Davis showed that he's certainly capable of doing that, although he's down on the turf. He took a shot as he ran upfield and picked up that first down. May just be a cramp, but because he did get back up, but it's right there on that leg where he took the hit.
Official timeout while they care for the injured Sparkman player. Tristan Hill along with Xander McClure staying in at corner. Of course, Carter Holloway and Joe Cross. Your veteran leadership there at safety.
Defense is bending here just a bit. Got the big penalty. Now you get the big pass play. And you see this a lot in football nowadays where you just want to get one-on-one with your best guys. And right there, Nathaniel Davis did a good job, was open in space, and used his speed to get upfield.
Three-man front with a man walked up. Williams gets rid of it quickly. Once again, finds an open receiver, a short but effective route. 6-yard pickup. Bring up 2nd down and 4 as the Senators continuing to drive in Jag territory. Hard count by Williams. Jags stay at home. Second down and 3.5. And Williams trying to find his receiver. They're going to try to go back Xander's way, and no foul. Well, the crowd in front of us here on the Sparkman side, they certainly wanted it. But luckily for Spain Park and luckily for Xander McClure, the referee did not reach for the hanky.
And really the only reason I could believe that they did not pull that flag out is because the official may have thought that was not going to be a catchable ball. That's not supposed to be why you tuck the flag. But McClure, again, lost sight of that football, and the receiver shot upfield there. I think that was number 6, Cameron Reynolds. At that point, McClure was just kind of left to the mercy of that ball going a little too long.
We'll have to check and see starting corner Jalen Mosley, why he is not in the game. A timeout is taken. 7 minutes, 48 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Spain Park trying to preserve a 13-point lead. Cooler nights of opening night football I can remember in quite some time. Welcome back, Sparkman High School. Senators with a football and on a 3rd and short after the timeout. Braylon Lawson bust off a big run of 13 yards. It's a first down. The clock stops as the chains move. And Sparkman now at the Jag 27. Keaton Williams looks around. Lawson remains in the backfield. You got to keep an eye on Bodner. He had the touchdown catch in the first half. He's at the bottom of the screen wearing number 11. Signals something to his quarterback on first down. And improvising, Williams almost shot puts that one, but he did it where nobody was, and that was the intention, I'm guessing. Ball falls incomplete. 2nd down coming up.
If there was a say the ball is coming to me without saying the ball is coming to me, Bodner may have done that right there. He signaled over the quarterback, and then that play looked designed for Bodner, and at that point, everybody was on top of him. There was no open receivers, and he had to throw the football away.
They hand it off to Lawson, and Lawson finding daylight again. Boy. And there's a injured Jag, and that's number 5. Linebacker, TK Slaughter.
Yeah, he took the brunt of the hit. He made the stop, and he never really got up off the ground.
The way they're working the right leg, a cramp, and then maybe a supplement or two. Good to see TK hustle off. Well, the Jags got to figure some stuff out.
This is not 1 yard, 2 yards at a time. They're getting 10s and 12s. Big plays, nothing fancy. No, just, hey, we're going to hand the ball off here and let our guys up front go up against your guys and see what we can do. And right now, Sparkman is winning that battle in the trenches. That defensive front is going to have to start doing something, turn the heat up a little bit against these Senators.
Momentum squarely residing with the team wearing all black. Williams stepping up in the pocket. He's got room to run. Bonamy forces him out. JD with a nice job of recognizing that Keaton Williams was going to tuck it and run. And was able to force him out of bounds, but not before Williams picked up 7. It'll be second down and 3 from the 8.
Yeah, Williams had to, there were a couple of young people down there on the sideline, and he had to hurdle one of them. Otherwise, that kid was going to get trucked. And he came down on his backside a little bit, but he's popped up ready to go.
Lawson, early cut into the end zone. Touchdown.
They did call the touchdown. That ball came loose, but I believe he was in the end zone.
Braylon Lawson from 8 yards out. And just when it looked like Spain Park early in this third quarter was going to add to a 27-7 lead and go up by 4 scores, a pick 6. A forced punt and a drive by Sparkman, and nothing super fancy about it. We got a ball game, 6.5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. 27-20, a concern. Head coach Tim Bakakis looks on. Jag football continues in a moment. 27-21. What once was a 20-point advantage here in this second half. Sparkman not ready to go away, opportunistic, getting the turnover with a pick 6 and then driving down the field, capped off by a Braylon Lawson 8-yard touchdown run.
The drive was about 80 yards as well. They just went right down the field, the Senators did.
Thompson Arrigo back deep. Probably a good choice as it comes up short, and that's Hibbard. Hudson Hibbard. For where he had to field the ball. And the little room that he had to run with Senators having their ears pinned back on a seek and destroy mission. Not a bad return.
Heat break timeout.
Official timeout for the heat break. We'll take it along with them. Spain Park back on offense. Jags need to get something going midway through the third. Set up another offensive possession. So far here in the second half, A.A. Moore, they've come up with no points. That needs to change. Nick McKissick. And that's a guy who can change it in a hurry. 9-yard pickup on first down.
And when this half started, it looked like it was going to be a blowout, in fact. First couple of plays from scrimmage, the big kick return, and then all of a sudden The turnover for 6, and as you said, the momentum has gone to the other side. Let's see if Spain Park is going to be able to answer.
And penetration by a few Senator defenders brings McKissick down in the backfield. Play loses a couple of yards instead of 3rd down and short or even a 1st down. This will be close to 3rd and 4. Bradley back in the gun. Rigo and McClure to this side as the wideouts. McKissick, they call 22's number again, and Nick making it count inside Sparkman territory and almost to the 40-yard line as the Jags hurrying to the line.
That's a big Atlas Senior Living 1st down. McKissick right up the middle. Big hole opened up, and he went right through it.
Got a chance to do it again. Couldn't find a crease at the point of attack. And still, with the legs moving, Nick was able to manage to grab 3 yards.
That may have been the biggest 1st down of the game for sure, because, man, these fans for Sparkman were really starting to turn up a little bit and got them quieted just a bit here after getting that 1st down.
Go heavy to the right, and there goes J.D. Thompson. J.D. keeping his feet inside the boundary and just enough as he gets to the marker, and it's another Jag 1st down.
And I like how Thompson finished that run. He got to the outside, wasn't a whole lot more that he was going to be able to do, and he just lowered his shoulder, lowered the boom, and picked up an Atlas Senior Living 1st down.
Hand off to Thompson again.
Hand off to Thompson, stop by number 9, Anthony Seaton.
3.5 yards on the 1st down carry. Right now, I like it, like the play selection, because you got a defense probably a little bit gassed after that last Sparkman drive. Thompson back this way, and not much there. He tried to extend it, but JD never really got going. A good pursuit by the Senators. Everybody was coming that way. And they bring down Thompson at the line of scrimmage.
He was looking at a plethora of black jerseys over there. He had no help. He was looking to make something happen, but when you've got 4 or 5 defenders over there and it's just you, generally it doesn't end very well.
Passing 4 down territory if need be. Brock tries to change it and throws it to an open official. And that was it. 20 yards. I didn't see a Sparkman player. I didn't see a Jaguar. So Brock heaving it deep, falls harmlessly to the turf. 4th down and 8 yards. Rigo, Greb, McClure, the wide receivers on the far side. Price and Thompson this way. Loading up, firing, touchdown. Mason McClure. The dagger from Brock Bradley, the 2nd time that duo is hooked up tonight. Beautiful pass, maybe even better catch. That's got to frustrate you if you're a Senator fan, but make you smile if you're Tim Vakakis.
Well, first things first, that's premier arm talent right there. Brock Bradley had time to throw it. He knew where he was throwing the football, one-on-one coverage, and Mason McClure did a great job. He picked that football up. The defender had no idea where that football was. He was just trying to feel McClure out. It actually faded to the back corner of the end zone. McClure made the turn, pulled it in, touchdown Jags.
No hesitation from the senior quarterback, Brock Bradley. McClure stays with it, just like they practice in the summertime. And the Jags helping themselves out because momentum. And not only swung to this side, momentum had moved in.
The avalanche was coming, and if the Senators had gotten the football back, it might have been a real problem heading the other way. But again, Bradley threw that football where only McClure could catch it. There was a small window, and McClure made the play. Certainly give him plenty of credit for that because he had to twist and turn a bit. But Bradley put that in the only spot it could have been.
Two-point try. Rolling out, firing, and that was well defended. There's no separation. Flow going that way. Sparkman was ready for it. 12-point lead for Spain Park. But a little bit of breathing room with 3 minutes, 16 seconds left here in the third.
You know, that's one of those 2-point plays where we're going to see it later in the year where someone's going to leak to the other side because it was student body right. Everybody was over to that side, and everybody flowed over there. That's going to be one of those where Connor Grebb is going to kind of leak over to the other side, and I don't know who's going to catch it later this year. But Connor Grebb is going to be on the other side. He's going to catch a wide open 2-point conversion. It may even be a play that turns into a touchdown if they run it, during the before they get into the end zone. So I think that may have been a show-me play.
That is a sure bet, AA, because we have watched Tim Vakakis, whether it's been at Spain Park or a prior stop at Jackson Olin High School. That is to set something up later. Might not be tonight, might not be next week. You'll see it again, and exactly what you just said will transpire. Was it Gregory last year with the cast on the hand?
Right. And it was something very similar where he leaked out to the other side.
On the return and slung down from behind, just beneath the shoulders. Good coverage. That might have been Bonamy racing down there. It was not JD. He's been everywhere else tonight. Micah Hale, number 91.
This is a big series for the defense, not just to kind of keep the momentum on the Spain Park drive, but let's be honest, on that last series, the defense got gashed play after play. Time for someone to step up and get a big stop.
Williams to Lawson. Lawson cuts it back and thought he was going to find a wall. Instead, he found extra yards. And that is going to be something that the Spain Park staff, I'm certain, will address, if not already addressing. But you got to figure that out. We're just in week one. But you have to limit those types of runs. After the 7-yard pickup, Senators working 2nd and 3 from their own territory, and Lawson again. And that time gobbled up and brought down was Braylon Lawson.
Carey's getting up on Sparkman Senator. First down.
Now they'll move the chains.
Again, it's right in the middle. They're just running right up the gut. And that interior of the defense is going to have to do something a little better.
Williams basket leads to Cam Reynolds.
Cam Reynolds once again on the receiving end of Keaton Williams' pass. It's first down. It's play gains 12. J.D. Bonamy, you see number 11 there in your screen. Veteran linebacker core. T.K. Slaughter joining the ranks, but E.J. Curley, J.D. Bonamy. Veteran leadership out of that group. I mentioned Holloway and Cross in the secondary. A lot of new guys up front. And the one-handed tackle comes from the Jags defensive end. Wyatt Beatty.
And they are picking on Xavier McClure. They've gone at him 3 times in a row. And it's one thing to pick on him and pick up yards, but it's another thing for McClure to miss tackles. And he's missed 3 times in a row. He's got to get up in there and wrap up.
Something tells me they're going to go back at number 10 at some point. Mosley now back in. That's good. Jalen Mosley starting corner. Wearing number 1. Now McLean comes in. Zion will spell somebody there on the defensive line. As heading off the field, Brady Heath.
Mosley is back in right in that spot where McClure was playing. So we'll see if there's a little better results here with Mosley back in the ballgame.
Second down and 8. Pressure coming and going down. They finally got to Keaton Williams. The pocket collapse. He retreated. But the Jags with relentless pursuit. I believe Zion McClain, who just checked in, leading that charge, but he was joined by a couple of his teammates.
Wyatt Beatty did a great job there on the edge. Marbury, the running back, was supposed to chip him, but in fact it was Beatty who knocked Marbury down, and there was no room for the quarterback to roll out. The cavalry came, and finally first sack of the evening.
Well, 3 quarters completed here in Harvest, Alabama, and a very eventful third quarter. Spain Park heads to the final frame, leading 33-21. Glad you're with us here on the opening night of high school football in the state of Alabama. More start of the fourth quarter. Jags leading by 12. And a third down and very long for Sparkman. Jags can get a stop, force a punt. Keaton Williams has other ideas. Pursuit coming, and Williams forced out of bounds into the Sparkman sideline. He's slow to get up. I think he's going to be okay. The Spain Park defender trailing. Just an aggressive play, nothing egregious there. As Kenneth Madden gave chase, the junior defensive lineman who wears number 23.
Good job there by the defensive backfield, being able to contain, force the scramble, and also forcing the punt.
Canarigo let that one go, and what a bounce for Sparkman. Ball proceeds inside the 20, and it's spotted at the 12. So Brock Bradley, after the 38-yard fourth and long hook up to his wide receiver, Mason McClure, back at it with the offensive unit.
I tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw some play action early in the drive. Mostly because when you have this lead and you're in the fourth quarter, especially in the shadow of your own end zone, most teams don't take that chance. They want to preserve that football and try to be safe with it. But
Jags will try to go 88 yards, but the handoff to try to create a little bit of breathing room, and they do so. As Nick McKissick gets his number called, and McKissick, there might have been a couple where he's been held to no or lost a yard or two. No gain, I should say. But really like the way that he's running. Here in the opener tonight, McKissick gets it back. Nick lowers the shoulder, secures the football. And he's up to the 28. They'll move the chains. 11:04 remaining here in the final quarter.
Another guard pull, and McKissick rolls right behind it. Lowers the shoulder to pick up a couple extra yards, but he already had that Atlas Senior Living first down. We've seen in the past kind of a thunder and lightning type of situation. Right now, I think McKissick is the thunder portion of it. There's the play action right across the middle, and it's going to be a first down.
Yep. Brock stood in there. Through the pass, it was a bit high, but coming down with it was Barrett Price. An eligible receiver. I've seen that at least
3 times.
At least 3 times. I was about to say 4, but thank you, Counselor.
I imagine that that's going to be a point of emphasis in practice this coming week.
It should be. Not sure who the guilty party has been. Maybe it's multiple guilty parties. Doesn't matter. It's negated some nice gains for the Spain Park offense. Got to get it corrected before next week. Whether the opponent is Hoover or whoever else, you got to get it fixed. As Barrett Price was slow to get up, Spain Park sports medicine staff tending to Barrett. And he's able to walk off under his own power. So first down and 15. After the step off, Brock got McClure. Mason McClure. Bradley hit as he threw. Wasn't the most perfect pass that Brock has ever spun out of his hand, but you know what? Pretty darn good.
Yeah, when your bad passes still pick up 40 in the air, that's good work. If he had let him a little bit, McClure runs under that for an easy 6. Another play action. Again, Sparkman looking in that backfield a little too much. And that allowed McClure to get deep for an Atlas Senior Living first down.
McKissick, nice kick out block by Greb, and Nick had his eyes and designs on the end zone. And saving a touchdown was a Sparkman defender, but a flag is down at the 22, and maybe that good block aided, in the opinion of one of our officials, by a grab of the jersey.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the fall to foul, 3-play first down.
That hasn't hurt this drive yet, but, 5-yard penalties, a little easier to kind of work through. Those 10-yard mark-offs that tend to stall drives. I saw Connor Greb had pulled out in front there, and then also Mason McClure was blocking downfield. Both of them were doing a good job, but maybe a little too much.
Bradley looking for the end zone. Got a man. Almost coming down with it was Rigo. And Kenna had some contact with the defender who drew the assignment. And he almost came down with his second touchdown catch of the night. Rigo got the scoring started. In the first quarter, as he came across the middle, and Bradley was able to find him and made it look easy. Second down and 13. Spain Park from the Sparkman 33. Pressure coming. Beautifully designed play. The screen to J.D. Thompson, and 14 has 6. Touchdown, Jags.
Boy, that was almost too easy. Did you see the muscle in front of Thompson on that screen? As soon as you could see it, watch it here. He had 3 big linemen in front of him, and there was not a Sparkman defender who looked really enthused about trying to get through him. An easy Andrew Sports Medicine touchdown reception there by Thompson.
J.D. Thompson looks like a former wide receiver playing running back. That's because he is. We'll take it. Bradley in to hold. That would have been interesting, but he's going to hold the football and hopefully put it across the goal line for a 2-point conversion. And hanging on to it, helmet-to-helmet contact.
And I would imagine that's going to be the end of the night for number 9 there for Sparkman.
At any level, those are the plays that they have tried to take out of the game. Defenseless player, and he got T-boned. Mason McClure still hung on to the football. That might be the last time, just because of protocol, that we see number 2 tonight. But
Targeting on the play, personal foul targeting against the defense. That 50
I hope he remembers it.
on the kickoff.
Yeah, that was, guys of our age grew up watching the highlights of those plays, and we oohed and awed at it, but no one really wants to see that near as much anymore.
Well, coming up Sunday from Jefferson's right there in Hoover off of Valley Dale, you've got the Spain Park Football Jag Connection, the Coach V Show. If you can't make it to Jefferson's for some great wings, burgers, and oysters from 6 to 7 on Sundays, you can check it out on YouTube at Game Day Sports Radio. It's right down the street from where I go to church. Might just hang out after church, eat wings until everybody gets there.
Sing a couple of songs, say a couple prayers, and then go have a couple of sandwiches.
That's right. Garrett Hoffman. Glad to see him kicking off. He's got a short field to do it. This one 8 yards deep in the end zone as he kicks after the step off at the Sparkman 45. The Senators have it. Trailing by 3 touchdowns with under 10 minutes to play.
Well, after this game is over, for those who have not come up the road, still in the Hoover and Birmingham area, make your way over to the Buffalo Wild Wings on 280, our fourth quarter sponsor. And, there's nothing that gets me more riled up than an opportunity to go eat some good chicken. See if they're still open when I get back in town. But certainly very convenient there on 280. And make sure you all go and see our friends over at Buffalo Wild Wings over on Highway 280.
Had an opportunity to play golf with the proprietor, Tim, and his daughter in an event. B-Dub's been doing it for a while, haven't they?
No question. One of the originators. I think I was over there, it was a little earlier this year. I was watching Auburn in the Final Four. Did they make the Final Four? No. Yes, they did. Okay. Yeah, they sure did.
They're in San Antonio.
Didn't end very well, but I remember them making.
Which, by the way, I've now been to 2 Final Fours. Minneapolis in 2019, and this past year in San Antonio. San Antonio is the perfect city to host a Final Four.
And why would you say that?
Sidewalks, walking, everything right there. Not super congested, spread out. They've done it a time or two.
And no snow, sounds like.
No snow. Very nice weather. Riverwalk, beautiful. Good time for all the fans to come together. Jag defense trying to come together. First down, Williams ran out of time, and E.J. Curley.
I believe that's Williams. In fact, they made the quarterback switch. Williams got banged up on the last series. I think that's Joshua Nalen. He's a junior, now in at quarterback. Ran into this problem last year, Sparkman did. The quarterback got hurt in the third quarter, and they had to go to the backup, and it didn't get much better for the Senators at that point.
Second down and 10. Marbury. And dropped like a sack of potatoes. That's big, number 97. Keelan Carter.
Tell you what, Sparkman has a good thing when they run Marbury north and south. Once they start getting them east and west, there are a couple of problems with that for the Senators, and now Marbury is coming out of the ball game. But it's 3rd and long, and this defense is starting to smell it for Spain Park.
Third down as Holloway was trying to communicate what I don't know to his teammate.
So that
Taylor.
That play clock was running down to 0.
And a timeout is called for
to get into the PTSO here at Spain Park today.
just $25, as you mentioned, and think about the things nowadays that we have to spend $25 or more on. That's certainly a worthy cause, and hopefully the Jags have the bragging rights, and Dr. Maddox wearing the Columbia blue, black, and white next week at the game. Big play from the Jags defensively. Loss of a couple, E.J. Curley.
Yeah, that defense is starting to get into the backfield. You've got Sparkman having to pass the football here, down 20 here in the fourth quarter, and now you can kind of pin your ears back and just rush the passer. And that has turned out pretty well here in the last couple of drives.
Ken Arrigo. Would love to see Arrigo return a punt. And a fair catch is called for. Wisely at the 38. That's for Brock Bradley, I'm presuming. And the offense will be taking over. Last couple of possessions, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, this second half didn't get off to a great start for Spain Park.
It was awful.
Yeah, pick 6, then a 3-and-out, and then an 80-yard drive, and this lead was down to 6 points, but Brock Bradley, this offense, a couple of big chain moving and actually touchdown scoring plays on 3rd and 4th down. Then another big drive on the last possession, and here we are up 20 with 7 minutes to go.
Hibbard lines up at tailback along with Brock, and Brock going to swing it out a little bit high for Price. He got a good block, and Price making a man miss, some extra effort. How about the yards after the catch for Barrett Price?
Price has been waiting to be able to keep his name in in the scorebook, because each time he seems to make a catch, there's a penalty that gets called on the play. So that extra effort was pretty good. They had to right there make a quick change as Reed's helmet came off, so he had to come out of the ball game.
So Reed replaced on the offensive line. And once again, late in the game, maybe the discipline starts waning a little bit. I mean, early in the game, the discipline wasn't there a couple of different times. But the shift draws the Senator defender, maybe 2 of them, over the line of scrimmage. Easy first down pickup for Tim Bakakis in Spain Park.
That was Dallas Cunningham there. They had looked like they had gotten that under control. It hadn't been one of those since in the first quarter, but that'll be the 4th time that happened during the game. And they tried to go with a little play action right there. Did not work. Quarterback sack.
Second to backfield by number 87, Ezekiel Martin breaks up 2nd and long for Spain Park.
Again, clock continues to roll, now under 6 minutes, 5:52 and counting.
Second down. We'll call it 6. That's Hibbard. Hibbard wasting no time. Made one cut. Straight ahead and across the 40 and down to the 39, and timeout on the field, the heat timeout, as we've reached past the midway point of this 4th quarter. We'll take timeout with them. Spain Park trying to add to the 3-touchdown lead for win number 1 on the season. It continues Jag football. After the heat timeout, Hibbard. How about number 16, Hudson Hibbard? There's no break. Whether it's J.D. Thompson, Nick McKissick, you think it's time to breathe? Wrong. Hudson Hibbard. 2 straight runs and 2 big gains.
And for as fast and as quick as he's moving, he is being patient. He's letting the blocks develop, following those blocks, and then as the opening comes, he explodes through, and that's an Atlas Senior Living first down.
The exchange took a little bit longer than I think Rock and Hudson would have liked. And that gave just enough time for the Sparkman defense to react. Bring down Hibbert after a gain of 1. 2nd down and 9 from the 18. Under the 4.5-minute mark, you got Ken Arrigo lined up one-on-one here to the bottom.
New quarterback in as well there, number 13, Nash Davis.
Nash, don't call me Crash Davis, and crashing out at the 1. Almost did it again. Thought he was in. Hibbard coming up just a yard short, but Nash Davis doing his job, made it look easy.
For a moment, it looked like Brock was going to have to finish this ball game, but up big here in the 4th quarter, and as the reserves start to get those minutes, get those reps, here it is, 1st and goal for the Jags.
John Maloof leading the way at fullback and carrying the pigskin over the end line. It's a touchdown. Hudson Hibbert finds pay dirt.
And why not? He did a lot of the heavy lifting on this drive, a couple of big runs, gets the Jags down to the 1-yard line, and Hudson Hibbert punches it in for the Andrews Sports Medicine score.
Jones, extra point. That one looked good, and it was. 4:03 remaining. And Spain Park, a lead that had dwindled to 6 in the 3rd quarter, have flexed just a bit. The homestanding Senators, 48-21.
Hibbert was the holder on the extra point. Man, he did all the work on that drive pretty much.
Next week, rivalry game as Spain Park try to make it 2 straight versus the Hoover Bucks, who tonight had the unenviable task, but I guess you scheduled your games, so of taking on IMG Academy. Kind of know what you're getting in that squad.
Pretty much the high school all-star team.
I know it's sacrilege, but outside of the state of Alabama, Vegas line on that particular game was IMG 32.5. That's really, really steep, and I have no idea what the score is right now, but I did look at the 5 offensive linemen that IMG starts. 5-star after 5-star. You got a Florida commit. You got a couple of USC commits. Just take your pick. It's a who's who of college football programs that either are considered blue bloods or they've been tearing it up the last 2 decades.
Well, so, those young men that go down to IMG, there's really just one thing they have in mind, and that's just getting prepared to go to the next level.
After studying, right?
They study something, probably study their upcoming NIL deals.
And off on 1st down. Not a whole lot there. Jags got some fresh faces, fresh jerseys in on the defensive side of the ball.
I just was, as you mentioned that, I wonder how much teachers get paid down at IMG. Do they get paid more than the coaches? What do the coaches teach the class?
That's a great question. I'm sure if you're invited and they really want you there, the expense isn't much, but I did see we're per year, $90,000.
Yeah, they got to get it back in NIL money. They got to.
$90,000. That does that get you an Ivy League education? Over the course of 4 years?
No.
400? No, not anymore.
Well, I would imagine that it did, and I've got kids. I have one child who was interviewed at least for an Ivy League school. This was 10 years ago, and they were starting with a number that started with 5 for 1 year.
Well, that gets you a Patriot League.
Little Bucknell.
Give me some Bucknell. Give me some Bucknell Bison. First down for Sparkman as the chains move. 2 minutes, 43 seconds left in this one. You got Kalen Taylor in at linebacker. We'll try to get to as many names as we possibly can. Now I got the LED light out. Micah Hale, number 91, is in on the defensive line. Linebacker, Israel Anders, sophomore, who wears number 32. C.J. Kroom. And in the defensive secondary was Kyan Taylor, senior linebacker, number 6, making the tackles. Flag is thrown and pitched back across the 50-yard line.
May have been a face mask or a horse collar on that tackle.
Cam Lewis, number 22. Out there for the Jags defensively.
Holding on the offense.
Yeah, well, so much for that. Looked like there was a grab late. That's why I made the assumption that there was a personal foul penalty, but we'll take that. We'll take the holding. A lot of these flags have been going against Spain Park tonight, other than the encroachment flags. All the encroachment flags have been going on the Sparkman side, but we'll take that holding and slow it up just a little bit with 2 minutes to go.
Jags will move to 1-0 on this young season. Sparkman 0-1, but if you've looked at the history of Sparkman going back at least the last 2 seasons, but it averages out this way over their program's history. Senators will go 5-4 the rest of the way. 5-5's kind of been their thing.
Looks like it. 5-5 this year, 5-5 last year. 5-5 last year and 5-5 in 2023.
Pressure coming and hit as he throws, sandwiched. Quarterback Jones, who had to spell Keaton Williams. And good pressure that time by 2 guys up front. As you see them here, number 3 and number 92.
Amazing. Only rushed 3, and 2 of them got to the quarterback.
Jalen Bates, there's number 92. First time we called his name tonight. Brady Heath, we called it a couple of senior defensive linemen wearing number 3. Third down at 15. Minute 40 remaining in the opener. Wobbly pass. Zayden Bodner had the touchdown catch, and that was a guy that I'm sure Ronnie Watson would have liked to have found a lot more often tonight. He's a captain and has a nose for the football, and anything that's been thrown that wasn't 5 feet wide or 5 feet too tall, he's been able to snag.
And that was about 5 feet too tall, and he still caught it. But, you know, a couple of the throws early, he had gotten open, and they just weren't great throws. So, and that's not going to be great tackling there. Another big run for Sparkman.
At least 3 missed tackles. Well, that first down run, clock stops, minute 15 left. Now the Senators, who were facing a 3rd and 15, it looked like this was going to be put on ice. They want to fire that cannon one more time.
Jones.
Spain Park defense, you want to finish this off. You know, you were showing some positive momentum, and I know this is the reserve package that's in there, but you want to get that stop. It's going to be a flag for too many men on the field.
What? And then just securing the snap and then holding on to the football, that was a problem. But before it got going, as you mentioned, flag had been dropped. You know, the cannon, if you're ready for it, it's not that bad. But go do a game on the sideline at West Point. That's a different kind of cannon. And it doesn't matter if you're ready for it or not. You'll jump out of your skin every time they do it.
That's that heavy artillery. This is the Jimmy Wynn toy cannon.
Yes.
Special down.
All of
over
the shells go into the reservoir there behind the stadium. And unfortunately, when I was there doing a game, Army scored a lot.
Defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Smaller scale, the cannon here at Sparkman. I love it. The pageantry, the traditions you have at all the different schools around the state of Alabama. So glad it's back. High school football. Glad you could be with us for another season of Jag football. Intercepted. Zayden Bodner giving chase and wrestling down almost by the collar. But number 24, Jace Mims, the junior defensive back, showing the hands.
And that's what had been missed all game long. We had seen the Spain Bark team be able to get turnovers nearly in every game last year. And until that pickoff right there, there had been no turnovers forced by the Spain Park Jags. But that gives us a chance to get to another one of our sponsors. And we certainly are glad we were able to get them in. AR Homes, who will sponsor the defensive turnovers here in the 2025 season. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors, Atlas Senior Living, Andrew Sports Medicine, AR Homes, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, United Community Bank, Signature Homes, and Buffalo Wild Wings on 280.
That will do it here from Harvest, Alabama, Sparkman High School. Spain Park Jags start off the 2025 campaign AA 1-0. Taking care of business. Wasn't always pretty, but that's what first games are for. 48-21 Jags, 4 touchdowns. They're victorious.